I've been using AirPods for about as long as you can. I got them on the very first day they were released back at the end of 2016, and since then they've gone with me through a bunch of different situations, and they're one of the only tech products that has never left my side, and I really can't say that about a lot. But they are getting a little bit on the older side. They're over a year old, and we'd expect to see a refresh at some point soon. But I do think that even if you don't have them and you bought them today, it's still one of the best purchases you can make. So like I said, I use AirPods every single day, so I'm very familiar with how they work and also some of the issues they have. They aren't perfect. If you don't know, AirPods are completely wireless headphones. You don't have a cable connecting both the buds, and you don't have a cable going to your phone or whatever you're listening to. They live in this little capsule that has a battery built in, and it recharges them. You plug them in over the lightning cable whenever they run out of battery, but that's not what's really cool here. What's cool is how they connect and how well the connection works. This is definitely the selling point of AirPods if you have an iOS device, which they're pretty much made to be used with, although they do work with anything. They work as a normal pair of Bluetooth headphones. But on iOS, you just pop open the AirPod case, you see a button on your phone to connect, you do that, and from then on, you don't really have to do anything. You just put them in and they start working. Now, one issue, at least for me, is I wouldn't say that pairing process is always perfect, especially if you're switching between devices. It works, and I've never had to repair, but sometimes I have to fidget with it a little bit. It takes a little bit of time, but if you're just using it on one device, works almost perfectly. It's just that switching devices. So of course in V2, I'd like to see that better. When AirPods came out, there were tons of jokes about how they looked, and now that they've been out for a while and I see them everywhere, at least where I live, I don't think the looks are that big of a deal. I do wish they were smaller, of course. They kind of stick out a little bit of a ways. As we have them now, I don't think the look was as big of a deal as most people were making it. Although I do wish they came in different colors. That would be cool. Now let's move to sound quality. Of course, these are a pair of headphones and you'd want them to sound pretty good. And I would say that AirPods sound pretty good. They're not the best thing in the world. You're not going to get the best sound quality. It's not going to be like over the ear pair of headphones or the best earbuds you've ever used. But like for what they are, I think they sound decent, and they sound better than Apple's included EarPods. So I think that's a step up, especially for that price, which I'll get to in a second. There's a decent amount of range. You have bass, you can hear the highs and the mids, although they aren't the clearest. They are a little bit muffled. I think it's fine, especially for the size of the headphones and the fact that they're wireless. Now let's talk price. This is probably another section that kept a lot of people from not wanting the AirPods. They go for around 150 bucks, and when you think about it for headphones, that sounds like a lot. But like I said, for me at least, I use these every single day, so if you kind of spread that price over the amount of time that I've used it, that means I'm paying well under $1 to use a pair of headphones that I really enjoy every single day. And to me, that is totally worth it. Of course, in version 2, I would love to see that price reduced. Anything to lower that barrier to entry, I think, is always helpful. You don't want to be paying a ton for a lot of different things. But as it stands now for what you're getting, I don't think the price is outrageous, and at least it's justified because the product works really well. Now, real quick, let's talk about probably my biggest issue with the AirPods, and it's one thing that I really hope gets revamped in version 2, and that's how you control them. So when you put them in, there's no physical controls. You can tap to play pause, go to the next track, and all that kind of stuff. You can activate Siri, but that's pretty much it. Other than that, you have to control everything from your phone. You have to either use, your Apple Watch, which is what I ended up doing, or you have to talk to Siri, which I think is a little bit more inefficient. I think the biggest thing I want to be fixed is volume control. The tapping to play pause and go forward and backward, I think works really well, but there's no way to go up and down in volume, which I think is one of the most important things, especially for a pair of headphones. I think it'd be cool if you can like slide on the AirPod. I mean, it's such a big thing to adjust the volume. That would be cool. Just some way to control everything on the AirPods themselves, I think would be very helpful in version 2. So those are AirPods after a year and all the issues that I've seen with them. They're still great. Of course, there's revisions that need to be done, but I think this is one of the best Apple products since we've seen the iPhone. They just work that well. And I think that even though they're a year old, if you bought them today, you would not regret it and you'd be happy. In fact, I think they are one of the only products that I can think of that, even though they are a little bit on the older side, I don't really care if there's an update. They just work, they work that well. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments, do you have AirPods? How do you like them? What are things that you'd like to see change? Really interested to know, so be sure to let me know down below. Also, be sure to subscribe so you can see when new videos are out. Anyways, like I said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I'm Matt, and I will see you in my next video. See ya.